I'm going to talk you through how to use the undo history and also the undo and redo operations. Okay, so here is my document that I have been working on. If we open up the history panel here, we can see all of the operations I've performed so far. And we can actually just scrub back in the history position until we get right back to the initial image that we started with. I'll just scrub it forward again to get back to our finished image. Now, ordinarily, if I were to save, close down, and then reopen this document, this undo history would be lost. What we can do, however, if we want to preserve it, is go to File and choose Save History with Document. Okay, we get a warning that anyone else can open up this file and see our history steps. That's fine, we can click Yes. Now, if I go ahead and save my document, so I'm going to choose Save As and save it into Documents. The file size will be larger because it's saving all of those undo steps. But if I now close down my document by going to File and Close, and I then choose to reopen it, we'll see all of those undo steps have been preserved. And once again, we can roll back to our initial starting image and then back to the finished result. Now, in terms of undo and redo, we can go to Edit, and we have Undo, the last operation. And as you can see, that takes a step back in the history. We also have Redo. And of course, we have keyboard shortcuts for those too. So on Mac, Undo is Command Z, whereas Redo is Shift Command Z. On Windows, this would be Control Z and Shift Control Z. Now, for performance reasons, you can also configure the amount of history steps to save. So if we go to Preferences, again on Windows you would find Preferences under the Edit menu. We'll go to Preferences and choose the Performance category. And here we have Undo Limit. So at the moment this is 1024 steps. If we needed more, we could increase this all the way up to 8,192. Okay, now the undo history also has another unique feature called Futures. Let me demonstrate this to you. If we scroll back, I'll find where I added an HSL shift adjustment. So we can move back to that point in my history. Now, if I instead decide to add, say, an adjustment layer or perform another operation for an entirely different result, notice here we now have a little branch icon. And what this has done is it's actually branched our history at that point. So if I click the little branch icon, I actually get my initial history back. So we can actually create multiple paths or multiple futures in our undo history here. Again, just to demonstrate this, if I move back to when I added the HSL shift adjustment, and this time instead I choose to add, say, a black and white adjustment, this will create a third branching point. So I can cycle now between my initial image, when I added the curves, and when I added the black and white adjustment. So there we go, just a quick look at the undo history and the undo and redo operations.